I was called to diagnose this vehicle. This is Jeep Wrangler 2018, and let me scan it. It has other fault code in it, but for now what I'm trying to do is to fix one or two fault codes. So let me turn the ignition on. So after turning the ignition on, let me wait for it to finish scanning, and it's going to do it quick. So this is my fault code, and the fault code we are going to work on is this charge air coolant. So we are going to, you can see it has pending code, and it has active cooling fine circuit. The thing is, they've done alteration on it, so now they've changed the fan and they've given it another fan, and this is the original fan. This is the line that goes to the PCM to control this fan through pulse width modulation, but the client didn't get the exact fan, so he went to another shop and they did this alteration for him. So they've given the fan relay so that the fan kicks in the moment you turn the ignition on. So I've disconnected that one. So my main issue is the charge air coolant pump. So under normal name they call it auxiliary pump. That's the auxiliary pump, electrical pump. So I found out the name, the auxiliary coolant pump, and it shows me the location, and I need the location because it's telling me it has an open circuit. So from reading from the instruction, that means it is on the left side of the front wheel. So if you can see this stored here, and this is the auxiliary pump that I'm searching for. So what I'm going to do is now I have to disconnect the auxiliary pump and test my power and ground. So I know for this auxiliary pump should have 3 wires. I think I'll have it here. Let me search through let me see if I can find it here. Should have 3 wires, which has power and ground and signal to turn the auxiliary pump on. So what I'm going to do is now I have to go and check for the location and test and make sure I'm having all the signal, all the wires that I need to have over there. So if you check from this information, it looks like the auxiliary pump has to have 3 wires. So this is the location. So I'll go to that position and see if I'll find it over there. So if you check from here, it tells me more about it, and you can see this is my auxiliary wire. So it has this 1, 2, 3 wires over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go there and disconnect this socket and check if I'll be getting all the signals that I need over there. Then I'll fix it and see if the problem will be fixed. So for now, what I'm going to do is let me close this and let me go to that position. So I'll bring you guys back when I get to that position. So from the search, this is the position, the place that the auxiliary pump is, and you can see the auxiliary pump over there. So what I'm going to do is, with this, I'm going to disconnect it and check why I'm having that issue. So I have to remove this fender, this liner, then I'll get access to the auxiliary pump, then I'll do all my testing and see why the system is still reporting. If it is a fuse issue, then I know what to do. So let me remove it and bring you guys back. So from the OEM diagram, you can see this is the fuse box and this is the control unit, right? So it tells me that on pin 2 which is brown and white, I should be getting a lane bus communication on the auxiliary pump, coolant pump. And I think this is why the control unit is able to identify that there is open or closed in the circuit. So from this, what I'll do is pin 2, which is the middle pin, as we've seen. I'll take the socket out, so I should get power when the ignition is on, because this goes to a fuse, which is fuse 7, 15 amp fuse, and this goes to ground. So that means I should get ground, a strong ground over here. So I'll remove the socket and do my test and see if I'll get my lane bars as the control unit is saying. So if I get it and I get my power and ground being okay, then that means the issue is from the pump unit itself. Then I'll speak to the customer to replace the pump unit. So now let me prepare you guys for the test so that you know what to see. So with this point, it looks like the PCM is the one that will be sending the lane communication to the pump, then the pump will send signal back to it. So let me do that so that you guys will see. So now, after removing everything, you can see how close we are to the unit. So this is the unit. So what I'll do is I'll disconnect it and check all I have to check. So as the wiring diagram is saying, this is the brown and white, and this is the red, and the other one is the black. So let me remove this and check if it has any fault in it. It has any fault in the oil, so you can see them perfect before I remove them. So let me do the removal. So now that I've been able to remove the socket, I'm going to test the power, the ground, and the signal. So let me go to scope and let me test. So from this point, this pin 1, which is red. So this is pin 1, where the square is pin 1, pin 2, and pin 3. So let me check it quickly. Yeah, so pin 1, on pin 1 I'm getting 12 volts. To verify my 12 volt is a solid 12 volt, I have to use a test light to test it to make sure it's a solid 12 volt. Although I'm getting a 12 volt, to verify that there is a 12 volt, I've connected my test lead to ground, and it should turn on my test light, and you can see my test light is on. The voltage has dropped a bit, my test light is on, so that tells me that that's a strong 12 volt from there. Then let me go to ground and check it. So you can see it has turned on ground, which tells me that my ground is okay. So if I want, I can test this ground by connecting this side to my test lead to my small power circuit tester. So when I send power, you can see my test light is on. When I release it, you can see it goes to ground. So that tells me that my power and ground is okay. So let me switch to the scope side of my unit and fix it on the scope. So let me go to menu. Yeah, this is handy too, because the moment I need it, it serves the purpose that I need it. So oh no, let me go back. This will send a pulse width signal rather. So let me select scope. I should see scope here. Yes, scope. So now that I've seen the scope, let me change my test lead from the end to the middle. So now I've plugged it into the middle to see if the control board is sending the CAN communication to it. So you can see I'm getting some voltage on my scope. I think I have to do with the time bit. I have to do with the time. No, let me go to 1 milliseconds and see. Sorry, let me turn on the ignition first. Let me turn on the ignition and bring you guys back. So now that my ignition is on, you can see that. So if you can see, I'm getting some communication line, so that tells me that it could be a component failure, although my scope is not getting the right. So you can see that I'm getting the signal on the, let me move and change this to, let me change this to 5 or 3 volts per division. Okay, then you can see the communication coming on. So that tells me that my lane communication is working, and you can see the frequency and the voltage, the maximum voltage and the pulse width modulation. Don't mind that one. The most important thing is the voltage we are getting here. Let me turn on my flashlights. Okay. So you can see I'm getting the signal which is going through. So let me go to, so this, let's say this is not bad at all, because I'm able to identify the issue and find out that my issue is from the, my issue is maybe from the unit. So I'll speak to the client to get a new unit, because after checking my power and ground and my communication line is perfect, then that means the issue is from the unit itself. So the client has to replace this unit, which is the auxiliary water pump. That's what is causing the problem now. So from this, 100% right that the opening I'm finding on it is from the unit itself. So I'll speak to the client so that he replace it. And for my wiring diagram, I'm now on the brown and white cable. I'm now on the brown and white cable. So this fault code tells me that it is from the sensor. And for my for my P016, I'll come and deal with it later. I'll check the timing and see if the timing is off. If the timing is off, then I'll open the timing and redo it and fix everything back. But for this one, I'm sure that it's from the pump itself. The pump is off. So what I'll do is, let me go back, read fault code again and see if I'll get any additional fault code. Sometimes, because I'm connected online, sometimes you might be having issues with network issues. So I'll wait for it to pop up. But for now, I'm fully assured that my problem is from the unit itself. So I'll speak to the client about it, then we replace the unit itself. So for now, I'll call it a fix. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.